Okay, recording is going. More people arriving, so I'm multitasking now. I've seen Sarah here, so I'm gonna make you co-host, Sarah, so you can help me let people in and stuff. That's all right. There's two of you as well. Let's see. Well, I can't make you co-host. What about this one? Oh. Co-host? No. Co-host? No, I can't. Oh, never mind. I can deal with it. All right, so let's have a look at the chat. Vina, I tried to open Opus and found this message today. RadarOpus start error. Okay, Vina, this happens on Windows a lot more than it does on Mac, for whatever reason, I'm not sure. The first thing to do is just restart your computer. And if that doesn't work, it's probably because you have antivirus software and it's like blocking the code meter software from working because it has to start up and check your license and database and that sort of stuff. So, if you have antivirus, try disabling it momentarily and starting again. And if those things don't work, then our free support will take a look at it. But yeah, that's a message to do with the software or USB license that we use to for your registering of the program to show that you own it. And yeah, okay, so hopefully that'll be resolved by a restart. Let's see, there's more people in the waiting room. Admit. Oh, there's 3 Sarahs now. Let's see, anybody else have a question for me? Okay, from Rachel Bradley. How does checking or not checking the intensity in the analysis menu affect the analysis I am doing? Okay, let's take a look then. So let's call up an analysis from a folder would be okay. Let's try that. Okay, let's see. All right, so you're talking about in this menu here, consider intensity. Checking on that. See, yeah. So basically, if I were to say despair of recovery is a really strong feature of the case, very intense expression of it, I could type number 4 after clicking on the rubric, and that would adjust the intensity. And you'll see here the value changed when the program's looking at the degrees and the intensity, and it's taking that all into account. If I have that not ticked, then it won't take into account the intensity that I've given any of the symptoms. You see that number just goes away. So the program will then not check your intensity levels in your symptoms. In general, if you are using, if you are grading your symptoms in a sort of the way that Vitolcus suggests, with like 2 or 3 underlines for each symptom, then one of the best strategies for you to check in your repertorizations, I mean, these rubrics all mean the same thing really, so it's a bit silly, but is to put it onto prominence, and that as a strategy will bring out all the remedies that are covering the intensities, where the intensity here matches the grading in the repertory, and it will do that rather than focus on the totality of the symptoms so much. Okay, so that's what I thought. Oh, couldn't find it in the manual. Okay, well done for reading the manual, Rachel. You might be the only person in the world who does that. I mean, I of course have read it, but All right, Vina Miller says, I have difficulty saving cases and keeping them in the patient file. Could you go through how to do that? I end up with many entries as if they are new patients rather than under one name. Okay, yeah, that's a common one. So I'm just going to clear all these clipboards, which you do with the key command. Hang on, let's turn my mouse thingy on so you can see the keystrokes and whatnot. Okay, oh, but they turn up on that screen, don't they? Anyway, that's a shame. So on a Mac, you hold down Command, Shift, and then press N, and that will clear all of the clipboards. And on a PC, it's Control, Shift, N. And if you don't like key commands, you can just right-click on a clipboard, and it has all of those options available. So it's this one. Clear all clipboards, reset name, set current as default. Okay, and that clears all of my clipboards in one go. So I'm clear to start again now. There's loads of people in the waiting room, so let me just deal with that. There we go, admit all. Okay, very good. Someone wants to record the meeting, but I'm recording it, so I'll say deny. Course, everything just pops up at you. It's like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Admit. Sergey's autopilot wants to record this meeting. No. The modern world, eh? It's tech. Right, so when you're working with a patient, the best thing to do is to create the new patient first, okay? So over here, I've got all of my patients, and RadarOpus is very good at it has a Congress mode, so it hides the names, which is great. And you can access that by going into the global preferences, which is here on Mac or under Tools on Windows. And then you can set the program to Congress mode there. But in general, you can just press Command N or Control N to create a new patient, or click that little drop down, which creates the new patient. Or go to File, Create a New Patient. But that's the first step. Choose Administrative. Okay, and then give the patient a name. In this case, it will be Q&A demo. And that's it. Then you click on the floppy disk icon to save it. Go into the consultation text editor, type the case, and add the symptoms. Okay, so let's say I'm using synthesis as my main repertory, and I want to add a symptom from the generals to do with pain, just overall, everything's a cutting pain. Press enter, that puts it in the clipboard. Go back to my Q&A demo patient, click the disk icon. Now, when I click on the calendar, I'll see evidence that the analysis that I've made so far, which is one symptom, has been saved and appended to that patient file. And if I then open up patients here, you can see Q, that stands for Q&A demo, is the first name here, because I've got mine ordered by the last consultation date, which you can set up in the preferences. In the preferences for the patient, you can add all of these different factors as a like table in here. So I added in last consultation date, and then you click on that as your header, and then it will order them by your most recently seen. And then basically it's a case of going into your repertory, chest, constriction, heart, and you can just drag and drop from here into your clipboard, or go back using the arrow there. There's vertigo in the morning. And so let's say I'm in this, on waking. So this is the rubric I'm at currently. I can use the take menu from this window and set the intensity there. as well. Okay, and then I just click on the disk icon, and that is all saved within my patient file. You'll never make a mistake like that again by working in this way. You keep track of everything by clicking the calendar icon. It shows you your symptoms. You can click on this scales symbol to evaluate the case, and you can go, a general evaluation by the patient, say, major improvement. You can look at each symptom and weight the improvement. And then, every time you add a new consultation, you can track their progress based on their symptoms or their general state. And yeah, and you check, you add the prescription by clicking on the remedy icon there. So let's just say in this case, I want to give bryonia. I click here on the remedy icon, type the abbreviation, which doesn't work in that case. If you type the down key, you'll see all of the remedies. There's bryonia. Okay, 12, CH, repeated dose, notes, for example. Then again, just click the floppy disk icon. So now I've got the remedy saved, the analysis here, the pathology I can enter here. Let's say it's to do with family history of stroke, for example. Okay, the trend is steady. Okay. So now when I click on the overview button there, it shows me the remedy, the pathology, the analysis, and the subjective feelings of the patient in terms of their reaction. So this is like the overview icon. And when I add a new consultation and do the follow-up, I can then clear this clipboard. Oh, do that. And start again with a new repertorization. Let's say this time there's generals, food and drink, cooked food, aversion. Okay, now when I go back to the patient, click the disk icon, I'll see that I've got my new consultation with one symptom, etc., etc. So that is the fail-safe way to work with your patients. Don't use the save and recall from here, but always open the patient first, create the patient first, type whatever text you want to into the editor here, use the disk icon, select your prescription, then all of that will all be saved in your database and will be easy to recall. Okay, so I'm going to go back and check on some of the other questions now because there's loads. So Vina, that was for you. Okay, Maurizio, how to graphically see graphically the chapters in the rep where a specific remedy is more prominent. I know where there's a graphic button, but this is the advanced. Okay, all right. A specific remedy is more prominent. Okay, so let's see. I've got synthesis repertory here, and you click on this icon which says show charts for this repertory, and you click on occurrences of remedies, and let's choose one from here like creosotum. Okay, you start typing and it guesses what you're looking for. You can add that and then click OK, and that gives me the number of rubrics in each chapter for creosotum, and I often change to the 2D graph because it's a bit cleaner. And that shows you that female, we know that about creosote, don't we? It has all those female genitalia symptoms. Extremities often has a lot there, generals, but one repertory I find particularly useful for this technique is Murphy's, because all of the organs are separated into their own chapters. So if I open Murphy's repertory, again, double click the header of the active tab to close the table of contents. And then here we've got show charts for the repertory. This works in any repertory in your program. You click this icon, choose the bottom option there, type the remedy, press enter twice, and oh look, it's done. I think it got confused. No, that's better. So that's looking in Murphy's. So it's, you know, a bit more detailed in terms of seeing what's there in the kidneys, joints, knees, larynx, etc. So there's a new feature in 3.3 which lets you compare more than one. So you could say, show me creosotum and show me hepa sulf, and you could add a third if you wanted, and then it does a comparison of the two. So if you're, you know, checking both, and especially if they're not well-known remedies or they don't have very good materia medica, this would be a way to say, well, headaches is the chief complaint, and hepa has a lot many more symptoms. So let me closely investigate the head symptoms of hepa and see if it's the best match. So that's for Maurizio.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Rachel, okay, good. Lynn, the option under tools and windows for conference mode. Okay, let me show you. Just open the main preferences. On a Mac, it's Command comma to open the preferences. Go to patient setup, and here it says hide patient names for Congress mode. You just tick that option. I've got my font size set a bit big because I'm short-sighted, so that's why it looks a bit funny there. But that's where you do it. So you just click on patient setup first. Okay, that was Lynn. Ellen, dear Luke, how can I change the width of the left column of the search for the patient? I see what you mean. If you want to search for a patient, like you've forgotten their name, and you know you're not seeing it widely enough here, you can just drag that across so you see the full name. But you can also search in your patient file. So if you click on the search in the top menu, and here search in the patient file, you can then just look for, if let's say you remember that the name starts with, you know, or has a G in it, in their last name, you then search and you'll see all of the options here. So let's say it has a G and an R like that, and then, you know, you'll get down to the final, you know, few, and obviously you'd see their full names because you wouldn't be in Congress mode. So that's how I would do that if I can't remember. Sometimes I'll remember what their prescription was, but not the name. Bad, isn't it? So say, you know, it was pulsatilla, and then I see all of the people that I've prescribed pulsatility. And you can even say, oh, how many times have I prescribed, you know, 1M? And it shows you the remedies. You can extract that to a Excel spreadsheet if you wanted to. So you know, if you're entering pathologies and everything like that too, you could search for every time you treated a certain pathology and extract the Excel file. See, you know, the age, the gender, you know, so it's built to be scaled up for research purposes. This patient file tool, it's actually very, very good if you get into it. And you know, basically it's best to have the Diamond engine package to make the most of the patient file and all of its facilities. Yes, for Veronique, when you save the consultation with the, whenever there's a change taken place, let's say I added now a symptom from Murphy to do with this, for example, to the clipboard, and then click the disk icon. You see every time I make a change, the disk icon is illuminated. When I click it, it becomes grey to show me that the save has been made. all I did was add a rubric, and that has now been saved as part of the active consultation, which is number 2 with 2 symptoms. Let's say I were to go back to consultation number 1. I could, in theory, add, another repetirization to consultation number 1 later if I wasn't careful. So you just need to make sure that you hide that one and have the last consultation active when you're making changes. And then whenever you click the disk icon, it will automatically save the repetirization to the correct consultation, like here. Christopher, thanks for helping with the questions. That's much appreciated. And Sarah. So Henriette, what can I do about that the program shuts down when I work in the nav window for treasure and writing short commands and Xmind and then use backspace to erase the word and write another? Then the program shut down completely except for the nav window and the bug trap that comes up. What to do about that? I have tried to get help from the support since I bought the program in Jan this year, but nothing has solved the problem. Okay, so you're saying that you get a pretty random crash or a specific crash that happens when you're using the navigation window. So Henriette, please you need to add a bit more information about which version you're using, whether you use Windows or Mac. So to kind of get to the bottom of specific like crashes, I won't be able to reproduce that one here. If you're getting a crash, the best thing you can do really is to back up, uninstall, and install the latest one that you have access to. Yeah. So if you updated from an old version, it might be best for you now to back up your data and go to the website and get the full installer and do a full installation, which tends to solve, crashing. Sometimes there's technology, isn't it? But that would be my suggestion for you. Okay, Priscilla's question here. Often when I open a client and I'm asked if I want to recall the last analysis of the client, if I click no, Radar seems to delete that most recent analysis. I've lost several this way. The best practice is to recall the previous analysis, then start a new one to prevent this from happening. When you open a patient, the current analysis is cleared. So Priscilla, you're working on a case outside of a patient, and then you open a patient and you say yes to recall the analysis, and then it would get rid of the one that you're working on because you've asked it to open a new one. So no,
that's not what's happening. I'm finished with one client. I'm not using that analysis anymore. I'm opening a previously saved analysis from a month ago. It seems that if I don't click, yes, I want to recall the previous analysis, which I don't really want to do because it's a new consultation, but it seems to delete my previous analysis if I don't select that, yes, I want to recall the previous analysis. And I submitted a support ticket and didn't hear anything. So I'm not sure if it's just is it best practices to recall your previous analysis with a client, even though you don't want to open that one and then start a new one?
Okay, so you said you finished working with that client's patient file. So what did you have open in terms of an analysis?
Just a previous. It could have been either a different client analysis, or I could just be starting up Radar, opening a previous client to work on a follow-up or whatever.
Yeah.
If I don't select that, yes, I want to recall the previous analysis, Radar sometimes deletes my analyses, and I've lost several this way. So I'm not sure how to prevent that, but wondered if you had noticed that or had any thoughts.
No, I mean, so let's see if I can reproduce it. So that obviously, as soon as I clicked on that patient, it deleted the repertorization I was working on, but that was saved anyway. So that's fine, and we can, we can double check that in a minute. So I normally just say no to that. And so what you're saying is it's got rid of what you were working on.
Yes,
So
I've logged multiple analyses. If I
yeah,
say no, I don't want to recall the previous analysis because I'm working on a new one. The
mm.
analysis that I might want to refer back to is just gone and I can't get it.
But if you follow the process that I've just showed you with working with patients, the analyses will always be saved to each consultation. You see exactly how it's done there. Everything I did was saved to each consultation correctly. So, I can now do whatever I want, delete these rubrics, open another patient. Then no matter what I say here, if I say yes here, I'm still gonna be able to go back and open this one, and it will still have the analyses saved. So I think as long as you're creating the patient and working on the analysis for the patient you actually want to be working with, and always clicking the disk icon, then you should be fine. It's only if you sort of, let's say you were like just playing around, you don't have a so now I've closed the patient file, so I've not got a patient open now, and I just put in a bunch of rubrics. So they're like that. If I now opened a patient and I asked it to, if I said no or yes to it asking, do you want to recall the analysis, I would lose this work now because it's not linked to anywhere and I haven't clicked save. So that's when I could lose my work, if I'm working on a repertorization outside of the patient file. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think I must be having some sort of glitch. It doesn't happen every time.
Yeah, it's hard if it's not like happening every time, if it's not like reproducible. I guess for you, maybe if you're running the latest version and you've updated from a kind of, do you remember when the last full installation you did was?
A few months ago, I'll have to
Yeah.
I'll have to do the full update. It sounds like that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
A full installation is the best way to make sure you're not getting glitches really. That would be my suggestion for you as well, I think.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, where am I up to? Lynn, I just can't learn to not highlight my previous search terms in the search window and start retyping for the new search I want to do. Instead, I have to backspace through the text and now type what I want. Any motive, more like a typical text box. Okay. Okay, yeah, I do know what you mean. Especially on Mac, I've asked for this a number of times. Let's say you type a word and then you do like a spelling mistake and you want to use the arrow key to go back. It won't let you, whereas on a Windows it does. So that is one thing that's annoying. And I think what you're saying is if you type a word like restlessness like that and you want to double click it and delete it, sometimes it works but sometimes it doesn't. In general, if I want to like erase the whole search, I just use this eraser icon and clear the search that way. Is there motivation to change how it's working? Yeah, I think there is. I'll have to, sort of, especially with the, how it doesn't work on a Mac and does on a PC is, not great. So I'd like to resolve that. In general, how do I on a Mac do it? Restlessness, waking. If I want to get rid of something, I just double click the word and then press backspace, and that usually works pretty well. Rather than if you do, you see I missed the G and now I have to click to go back to the beginning rather than arrows. If you do this, that doesn't work, but if you double click, that does work. So hopefully that will help you, Lynn. Okay, Karina, how do you use remedy comparison? So you need to open, well, the first way that was when I showed you like the extracting graphs from the repertory to look at the chapters they have. The next way is to open an advanced search, which is F5, or you click here, and usually by default that's set to open the advanced search. So advanced search gives you this kind of guided view of all the different things you can look for in the program. So let's say I want to research Serenum. So you can see by typing, you get the auto suggest come up, and you can press enter. Then you press enter again, so that it's active, there's a tick, and then you do the next remedy, like Metarinum. And if you do the correct abbreviation, it will know for sure. Then press enter twice again. Then here you have to click on remedies and say this: symptoms which they have in common and exclusive. And then you choose a repertory, like synthesis is probably the best one. So synthesis is now active. I can go back to the search and search in the current document only. And the software now does a search for all the symptoms where Serenum and Metarinum are together, then all the symptoms for Serenum without Metarinum, and vice versa. And that's a good way to, if you're weighing up both, to look at the rubrics for each one and say, oh, which looks more like the patient? Is it Serenum with, anticipation of impending evil, or is it Metarinum with the, drinking on the sly? I think I know which I'd rather be. Okay, that's that one. That's remedy comparison for Karina. Sigrid, cool feature, cool. Vivian, I don't have the two little arrows pointing down, which used to clear the clipboard, and the drop down doesn't clear. I have to clear one rubric at a time. Where can I find those little arrows to clear the clipboard? I don't have the two little arrows pointing down, which you use to clear the clipboard. The two little arrows, you mean the ticks on the clipboard? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the ticks. I've just seen them closer. I just don't have.
You might have a different, so the program's visuals can be changed now. So in the past it was just one tick, and if you want to change the active clipboard, you hold down the Alt key and click on a clipboard, and that sets it as your default clipboard. But if you're dragging and dropping into clipboards, it doesn't really matter which one's your default. It's only if you're using a mouse click or a key command.
Yeah, it's just that trying to clear a clipboard. I mean, I have to do it rubric.
Oh, you can just right click on the clipboard and choose clear this clipboard.
Doesn't work.
What are you using, a Mac?
Yes.
Are you using an external mouse or a trackpad?
Trackpad.
For a trackpad, you need to set up on your Mac how you want it to do right click, because a Mac doesn't have right click by default. So what you need to do is open Spotlight on your Mac, which is that magnifying glass in the top right of your Mac, and then type trackpad.
Yeah.
And then enter. And then where it says point and click and secondary click, you have to set what you want to be your secondary click, which I've got set to 2 fingers, just 2 fingers
Okay.
touching the trackpad like that. And that is your right click.
Okay. So I have to invent my right click. Perfect.
Well, Mac are so cool that they don't have a right mouse button, so you have to set your right mouse button.
Too cool for school. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have got one other question which comes up a little bit lower, but I'll wait actually until you.
Okay, yes. Very British of you to wait in the queue. Debbie, nice one. Anna, where can I find an energetic remedy picture like this one below for APIS? That you have to purchase that module, which is a Philip de Groot module, and then if you've got it, you just right click on any remedy, and the bottom option will open and it shows the kind of hypo or hypertonic muscles or nerves for remedies, because he uses a lot of muscle testing in his practice as well, so it's derived from that. Okay, Maurizio, could you show a little bit how to play with remedy extractions, like for example how to show where remedy is unique in a rubric and similar ones? Yes. Okay, so let's go back to synthesis. Okay, let's look at anacardium. And one way you can search for anacardium in a repertory and any remedy is just to drag and drop it onto the repertory you want to search for it in. So I'm just aware that it's a little bit behind where I am on the. So you just drag the remedy across onto the repertory, and that will launch a search. Sorry, the video's way behind where I am, so I'm just waiting for it to catch up. There we go. Good old zoom. Okay, and then basically you right click the name of the remedy, and then here you can like determine how you want it to search. So what Maurizio was asking is to look for small rubrics, so rubrics containing less than or equal to 1 will show you all of the unique rubrics of anacardium within that repertory, which I selected synthesis. So this is how you see the strange, rare and peculiar single drug rubrics of any remedy. So you launch a search for a remedy, and you can do that in a number of ways. I showed you then how you can drag and drop. So if I show you lycopodium, drag and drop it onto synthesis, and it will start searching for lycopodium in synthesis. And then I right click it and select this option, rubrics containing less than or equal to 1, and then redo the search by clicking on the little magnifying glass, and then I see all of the lycopodium single drug rubrics. Another good way to investigate a remedy you might be choosing, but you can do less than or equal to 5, for example. So it's not just the single drug remedies, but single drug rubrics, sorry, but also smaller rubrics. So you can broaden the search. If you've got a new remedy that doesn't have single drug rubrics, that's a good way to do it. So let's say we were going to look for, well, like one of the provings we did at the school, which was two-toed sloth. That doesn't really have single drug rubrics yet, so you would look at less than 8, for example, and you can see some of the, the more characteristic symptoms that came out of that proving. Another thing you can do that doesn't work so well with, you want a well-established remedy for this, but let's say you're looking at calcarea, right click it, and you can untick plain type and italic, click OK, click on search, and see the confirmed symptoms of calcarea. And this works in any repertory. Yeah, those are the two main ways to look at a remedy through a repertory.
So Luke, excuse me, just a comment on what you just said.
Yeah.
from my question. So it is just from that string where it says containing 1 or less than 10 or whatever. It's just the same line that you're using for no matter how many remedies you want to restrict.
Correct, yeah. So I click here, rubrics containing less than or equal. That's pretty much the one you want to use every time. And then you just choose your number. Yeah.
And what about what is the last line about?
Okay, the last one, this is the way I use it. So I deselect degree 1 and 2, rubrics with less than or equal to 1 remedy, greater than or equal to. So this will look for rubrics where Calcarea is only like matched in terms of grading by one other remedy. So it's where Calcarea is kind of the king of those rubrics, basically. So if I look here, see it's not outranked by anyone there. Let's see. Yeah, so it's pulling out the symptoms which are, Calcarea is the boss, if you like. See, Belladonna's grade 3, but still none of them outrank Calcarea. Does that make sense?
Oh, wow.
Very much so, yeah. Thanks, brilliant.
No worries. So yeah, just, it's always the same setting really. Less than or equal to in the first box, greater than or equal to in the second one. And you can leave that as a 1. Okay, let's see. Okay, Vivian, how can I get hold of Murphy's repertory? Well, you're in the UK, so you can go to radar-uk.co.uk and buy Murphy's repertory from there, and then I will sort it out for you. radar-uk.co.uk, and you can just add it to your cart, pay with a card, and then I will spring into action.
Can you give me that again? I'm really sorry. Radar-uk.
.co.uk.
.co.uk. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
That's all right. Okay, Emma, yes, it's going to be on the recording. Yeah, Chris has put that there. Thanks, Chris. Why is Veneti's view not in Synthesis Treasure Edition? I don't know. It might be a technical thing. We'll need to suss that out. I haven't done the full installation yet, so I've not. I don't know. Sorry, Karina. But Synthesis Adonis is amazing, so you could get that maybe. Okay. Henriette, it's happened in all versions. Okay. I've forgotten what the first thing was now. Sorry, I'm multitasking a lot here.
I have Adonis, so
Yeah.
if I look at my old repertories, I have to put, if I have analyzed with treasure, I do all again in Adonis to see what the viewer said.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Yeah. Yeah, I guess ask Renee.
I did. He does not know why it is.
Okay. It's probably for technical reasons because everything pertaining to the views was quite strongly upgraded with Adonis. So it might be that the view is not compatible with Treasure Edition. Why is it called Adonis? Yeah, I know, it's a funny name, isn't it? I think it's because they decided to go with letters rather than numbers, and Adonis is a plant remedy, Adonis venalis, so it was chosen for the letter A, Adonis. But yeah, it seemed more like a kind of Greek god vibe to me when I first heard it. But there you go. Right, let me get back to where I was here. What is the Herscu module? Alexander, if you want to find out, you need to do Paul Herskew's course, because he's kind of in charge of who can buy that module. He says you have to do his course so you know how to use it properly. So I would get in touch with him if you're interested. I missed someone? No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You missed my question between, so just wondering.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I'd missed one, but now I can't find it. So
It's regarding my when I used radar in the past 1 year, 3 times it has crashed, and I lost everything. And then lost that particular case which I was working on. I had around 20, 30 rubrics. Then I had to restart the whole thing. And I didn't save this while I was doing the repertorization. Is there any way I can go back and get that back, or is it just that I've got to rework and restart?
yeah, that's very frustrating. No, I don't. Usually when it crashes, it restores what was in the clipboard. But if it hasn't done that, then no. If you're getting a lot of crashes, I would do a full reinstallation.
I mean, I'd reinstall, I wouldn't lose any of my patients or any of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to change that. When I've, for me, the program's not done that for a while. When it first, 1.4 kind of era, there was more crashes, and I was more like, every time I wrote something in the patient file, I would click the disk icon to make sure I saved it. But it's definitely not like that now for me on my system. I know that doesn't help you, but I would make sure I'm running the latest. And I don't know if you use PC or Mac, but
I use a PC.
I personally find that it crashes less on a Mac. I don't know why. I use both.
Right. I've got a Mac, but I'm not proficient because my hands are all accustomed to the Windows version of things. So
Yeah.
I still use Windows.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing I would do is not have too many applications open at the same time, because
it wasn't, and it was quite annoying because I was literally looking at it, and all the way it just went off. The whole thing closed, and then I had to restart the whole thing again.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, that's really annoying. Really annoying. I would always use the patient file in the way that I demonstrated at the start.
That was what I was about to ask you, because what I do is, because I have a Word document to put all the case files, that's where I type all the symptoms. And then when I want to repertorize, that's the time when I go straight away onto the, rubrics.
Yeah.
And I select and start up with the analysis. And then once I click the analysis and then I save the analysis, that's when I put the patient details. Is that a wrong way to do it?
It's not the optimum way, because if you create the patient first and then make the analysis, it kind of auto saves every time you like add a new rubric and then click back into the patient file. It does tend to auto save, and if it doesn't, you just click that disk icon, and then it's being saved in the right location, and it avoids a lot of confusion. And
that's handy, thank you, because I'm a new user and it's only been 1 year, so learning the ways. And the other thing which I want to ask you, Luke, it's coming further down, but because I've got to leave, do you mind if I ask? I know I should wait.
Don't worry. No, that's all right. You're not British, so you don't have to wait in the queue.
I am, but I do advanced search. If I put pimple, the word pimple, it wouldn't give me the results for pimples, the plural one.
Yeah.
And the other way around. Why is that?
If you want to do the exact, so by default, the program is set up to use what's called roots and branches, which means that if I type pimple, and in the advanced search, you use this little icon here, but in the simple search, you can just right click on it. Actually, you can right click here. It shows you the roots and branches from the dictionary. So it's going to find you pimples and pimply and whatnot as well. So what you have to do is unselect. If you just want to find pimple and not pimples, then you make sure.
What I want is anything regarding pimples, pimply, whatever. How do I do that? Can you show
the
me
fastest way is just to use an asterisk.
Okay.
And then it will find all the different types of pimple, pimply.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, the nice thing about the asterisk there is that you also don't have to type the full word, and you're less likely to make a spelling mistake. If you just put it there as well. So usually the first 4 characters is enough to find the word there.
I know I've asked you several times, but I still have trouble trying to delete a rubric when I've got it in the sort of analysis chart.
Yeah.
I know you said sort of, click on the delete button, but it right click or whatever, and it doesn't go.
Yeah, a Mac doesn't have delete. It has backspace. If you're using the laptop keyboard, a Mac.
It's a desktop. It's
a desktop, an iMac. Okay. It might still, a delete key normally says delete on it, or DEL. And if you don't have one of those, then there are 2 options. One is you press function backspace, and function is the bottom left hand key, and backspace is the top right hand corner next to the on button on mine. And function backspace is the shortcut for delete on a Mac keyboard.
Okay, so sorry, the bottom one, and where the top one with the little cross on it, little arrow and a cross on it.
It should just be like a backwards arrow. It might have a cross on it as well. They're all a bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't got that, then you can right click if you're using an external mouse, and it's the bottom option in the window.
There it goes. It doesn't delete. Or if I try to, you said if I want to move it from, I put it in the wrong box and I want to move it to another one.
Yeah.
It won't move.
Okay, so you click so it's highlighted, then click, hold, and drag. If you try and do it before it's highlighted, it won't work. It's a little bit fussy. You want it highlighted first and then drag it.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Right.
And this thing is, if I'm analysing a patient, I've finished with them and I want to then go on to another one.
Yeah.
How do I switch from one to the other? Because
lost you. Maren,
close radar down and then
can you type it, because your connection's not very good and I couldn't hear what you were saying. Can you type it into the chat?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay, I'll get to it eventually. But I'm a bit behind all of the different things here.
Yeah,
okay, so Devang, I suppose there are some notes taken from lectures on Word document. Is it possible to store in Radar and refer whenever needed? Yes, since version 3.3 you can do that. Click on File. This is part of the Create and Analyze bundles, so it's a separate purchase, like around. Well, if you click on the shop icon, you'll see it there now. Just let that load. You're able to buy that bundle now. See here, Create and Analyze bundle, 129.60 in terms of euros, and then the VAT is added at the end. And then you click on File, create a new reference, enter your name and the details, and then I've got one already made, so I've got a few here. So then you get this Your Own Materia Medica document, basically, and when it opens, it looks like a normal Materia Medica, but if you click on Switch to Edit, then the plus symbol, you can select the remedy which you're wanting to write Materia Medica for, and then you can type or copy paste the notes that you want into that remedy. So I did go through this in the last Q&A, which there's a video of, so if you go to that video you can see exactly how to type notes. But yes, you can, basically.
Hi Luke, based on the same question, can I ask you, can I attach patient notes? So during consultation, if I have made any notes for the patient, can I attach them as a Word document to any of the files which I've created?
Yes. So you need at least gold or diamond package to do that. And so clear all clipboards. Basically, you click on this icon here, the add an attachment.
Okay.
And if you have the gold package, you can add one attachment per consultation, I think. And if you have diamond, there's no limit to how many files you can attach onto the patient file there.
Oh, great, thank you.
So my Zoom has, the chat's disappeared. There it is. Nice. Okay, so that's the Materia Medica. The master score is a Farouk Master, a new feature, something you can add. It works with synthesis, and basically let's see, have I got a good demonstration of that? Might not have time to demonstrate that, but essentially you're able to build an analysis in a normal way with any symptom, and you need at least 5 symptoms for it to work. And what it does is to assign a kind of rating for each author. So reliable classical authors where things have been verified gets a higher score than something unverified. And it combines that with looking at the intensity of the grading you've used, and then offers you a different analysis based on those factors. Okay. Can you show us how we can use the innovation that comes with the update? The main innovations are the create your own repertory and reference. So you click on File and go create a new repertory or create a new reference. And from there, the last Q&A, again, the video I made there has the, I showed all the new features or some of the new features in 3.3 there. So if you go to our Academy page on the main website, RadarOpus.com, click on video. And then when it opens, go to all videos. And it should be close to the top because it's recent. From Karina, yes, you can create a Dutch repertory, in your own repertory. So here it is. I'll just put the link in the chat now for the last Q&A. Yeah, that's the great thing about doing your own Materia Medica and repertory. You can put it in whichever language you want to do. You can create multiple Materia Medicas, but you can only create one repertory at the moment. This is an example of what I did so far. Not sure why the font size has gone like that. Okay, master score, that needs to be like that. That would be better. Okay, did I get to the end? No. Machteld, no worries. Bye for now. Marin, hang on a minute. Okay, saw that. Nice. Okay, seen those. Okay, how can I make a search not from Maritz but library? Okay, Maurizio, yeah, you want to search improvings. Okay, this is good. So if I want to search in improving, the main thing you need to do is to set this A to Z to look not in repertories or current documents. So you just click here in your search window and you can set it to look just in the provings. And then you type the word you're looking for, like let's say it's to do with waves. Type the word, press enter until it starts searching, and then you see everything here. So let's say it was a sensation. So you've got 2 words. You then need to define a word proximity. So those words within 4 words of each other. So you do that by clicking here. Search again. And that would find, wave-like sensation, hopefully. Wave, wavy, wave-like sensation. See? So that's how you do it. Then if you click this graphic analysis icon, that exports a graph, so you can see the main remedies there. Or if you select this option, view all documents in one list, you can create your own rubric from that. So with them all in one list, you right click and take all rubrics, create a new combined one. And that essentially gives you the same functionality as reference works.
Sorry, Luke, that was slightly too fast for me. Could you
Yeah.
show just again the preferences of the clicks? Where should I click?
Yes, of course. So you got the two words, and
Yeah,
then
so far so good.
okay, and then up here you set within 4 words of each other.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you've set for it to look in the provings already.
Right.
Then it will make that search for you, and you have to tick the option view all documents in one list.
Oh, I see.
And then the key command is Command Enter for Mac or Control Enter for PC. Or if you don't remember that, just right click anywhere on the text in the search window and choose the 4th line down. And that creates a new rubric. So you see when I click here, they'll all go into this free clipboard. And then you can change the name here, enter the text and new symptoms. So
okay, and what was that graphic that appeared at some point before?
Oh yeah, the graphic is just an alternative way. So if you're not using, a full analysis that you want to add a rubric to, you can just quickly click on the graph icon. Again, this requires the gold engine or above, and that extracts a graph.
I understand. Okay.
The only thing, well, we're working on a clean version of our database right now, which should improve the graph functionality. At the moment, it's more reliable to create a rubric. Things that were added more recently to the database don't show up in the graph at the moment. So if you want, you'll see in the rubric it's 20, but if you go to that graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's not 20, I don't think. So there's that. But the graph is a good feature, and when you're in a search, if you click this icon, the little magnifying glass with the plus, that opens a second search. So you've got 2 here now, and I could search for something else like dream flying, for example. And again, click here, define your word proximity, search again in the same place, which is provings, and then press the graph icon again, and then it puts the 2, it superimposes the search results upon one another, and you can go on adding more search tabs. So at the moment it's plutonium and argon that have both of those. So you could do up to 8 or more of these searches and make a graph analysis.
What about the families right there? I mean, right-hand side. How can you use that in combination with what we are doing now? Is there any chance that you can do with families or not?
No, it doesn't work like that. The family search is
Okay.
if you're wanting to make a research, really, let's say of like, sulfur, the compounds of sulfur. When you click on the option button there, you can say rubrics with more than or equal to 3 is usually a good one. And then again, this doesn't work with Synthesis Adonis at the moment, but it will work with Synthesis Treasure Edition. So if I open that, I don't think I've got it there. Let's just look in all the repertories then. So this would find you any rubric in a repertory that contains like calc sulf, natrum sulf, sulfur, you know, any of the sulfur remedies, and pull out a list of rubrics. But it takes quite a long time to compute it. So yeah, it's if you're kind of digging deep, and let's say you wanted to make additions of, you know, the sulfur compounds to the repertory, this would be a way of like finding what the symptoms are.
Thanks a lot indeed. Huh?
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for your
Appreciate it.
questions. Yeah, you're welcome. No worries. Okay, a little bit running out of time. So let's see. Yeah, the Earthwise repertory, it will be available very soon. I've just made a web page for it now, so I think that was what we were waiting for. So very, very imminent with the Earthwise repertory. Okay, Julek, while repertorizing, I want to narrow my search to a particular family of remedies, say cruciferi or spiders. Is this an option? Yes, that is an option. There's a couple of different ways of limiting your analysis. I probably need a better example. So let's just quickly make one. One of the things you can do is to take all the cross references in one go. That's often how I build a quick analysis for a demo. You press F6, which brings up this window, and then you say, take all the cross references individually. And it takes all of them in one go. So it's kind of like a meta-analysis of the idea of introspection, according to the cross references. So, okay, let's say cocculus, we want to look at the family of cocculus. We can right click, limit to the family members, and choose from usually Kingdoms version 2, which has more in it. You could say, oh, I want to look at the lianas and vines, or I want to look at the Ranunculaceae or the Menispermaceae. Yeah, or I want to go to plants Cronquist and look at the Magnolidae. You know, so it gives you all of the options here. That would limit me to Magnolidae or column 1 in Yakir's terminology. Then you click here to change it. If you have a particular family in mind, Julek, like cruciferi, you mentioned, you just click the family's icon, type the family, right click on it, and limit the analysis. And that will add in a rubric for that family, make it eliminative, and that will do the job. So yeah, if you have a particular one in mind, you click on the families and type it, then right click and choose limit. For me, then you can delete that. Let's see if Command Z, yeah, Command Z as in undo will get rid of it too. Yeah, that's that one.
Thanks so much, Luke. That's wonderful.
Yeah, you're welcome. With polarity analysis, there are videos on that. I don't think I've got time to show that now because I'm running over and I've got to see a patient in a minute. So let's just see what I've missed. Okay, Gabriel, there are a huge number of new remedies. A lot of them are not covered in the family tab or elsewhere. We could do with more than the full name, e.g. Kingdom family. Sometimes I don't have a clue what kind of remedy it is when it comes up in a repertorization. Right, so you're saying when we add something to the catalogue, we should be adding more information in terms of the, like, where it comes from in taxonomical terms.
That would be helpful just to get some idea, even what kingdom.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any examples at the top of your head now, so I can have a little look? No. Let's see if, I guess the ones at the bottom look like new ones, don't they? Let's open one. What I would do with that is click on Google here, and it should tell you via Wikipedia what it is. Would that be sufficient, do you think? I mean, obviously we could add more details. Quite often we are adding the synonym you see here and a bit more information, but see,
yes, it's also sometimes what appears in Google or Wikipedia is different from the homeopathic remedy.
From the name, yeah, that's true. One of the things Fred is very keen on is standardizing and modernizing all the names to their current scientific understanding and terminology. So that is what's taking place in the clean database, which is hopefully we're going to be testing very soon. So yeah, a lot of the old names that we're used to that are kind of incorrect or woolly will be updated very soon. So yeah, I think for now I would use Google. It has got this links to like taxonomy directly as well. So you might find that is a bit more accurate than using Google. One of these taxonomy buttons might be better.
Okay, I wasn't aware of those. That's useful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Roger, why is it better to keep patient information in RadarOpus over document files? Yeah, that could kind of get into that. It might take a little while. The first thing is like GDPR, it has you covered because the database is encrypted. No one can see your patient files unless they have the password for your program, which you're supposed to change every 3 months, which people get annoyed about, but it means that you are covered according to GDPR regs. So there's that. And then the other thing is that it does have some functionality that, let's just see if I can pull up patient. Yeah, that will not do. Some functionality that Word doesn't have. Like one of the things I like is grading your symptoms. So you see here, you can just be typing and then click on a number up here and it will change the kind of shading and text to pull that out. And then I can click on this number 3 now and it will pull out all of the things that I marked as being, grade 3 or, pretty intense or pretty important. And then that helps me to go and, distill the case down into more usable chunks of information. That's probably the main thing that I use it for. You can also create your own tags here. So I use Mappamundi. So if something relates to, an element of the Mappamundi, I can tag the information as such and pull that out. So yeah, it's got some unique little features. And if you want to explore patient file more, then I have it, I have some videos about it. The other thing is, as I was showing earlier on, you can search in it, you can research how many times you prescribed a certain remedy or potency, or you can do get a full overview of your practice essentially by using it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to leave it there. So I'm ready for my patient, but thanks everyone for coming, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. We'll we got 2 more of these before my baby arrives, and then I'll be on paternity leave for a while. So see you on the next 2, and yeah, thanks for coming, and sorry again if I didn't get to your question. But hopefully, it looks like Roberto and Chris and Sarah were chipping in, so hopefully you got some answers anyway. So bye for now. Hopefully the recording's worked, and see you all soon.